people, more life, more blessings. You know the vibes. We right back at you. Do it for the love. Episode 14. I am your host. 14, baby.
We out here.
I am your host, Eric Buddy Davis. You know the co-host is in the building.
Self spit fire.
And as usual, we're feeling good, feeling great, feeling good, and we hope you are too. For all of our people watching us, you know the vibes. We like to check in with ourselves first before we get into any topics or bring on our special guest, which we have a special one tonight. So my brother, what's the temperature like? How you feeling?
Temperature is mild tonight.
Why is it mild?
Just had a rough, crazy week. I'm telling you about that.
Yes, you have.
Unexpected calls, bills, and all of that, man. But ain't nothing gonna stop motion. Even though last episode I said I ain't like the word motion, but ain't nothing gonna stop the motion that we have right now. And as you saw firsthand, we had some good news that we're gonna unveil on our next episode.
Oh yes.
But just good vibes, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy that we're making progress on our goals. How about you? What's your temperature?
Oh man, temperature's good. I'm not sure if I spoke on the events that I've done the last few times with the Good Men, Black Men Dinner. I think I might have spoke on it, and then also Ray and Bridget's wedding. Mm-hmm. That was great success. Outside of that, work's been super busy with University of Maryland Dental School. Work picking up graduation and be here before you know it. It may seem like it's a little bit away, but you know, time flying. We almost already in March. Okay. So everything's good, bro. Sun's growing. Everything's lovely. I can't complain. As you said, I'm excited about what we're gonna announce in the next episode. So yeah, we working, baby. Sure. You know, we out here doing what we got to do, trying to provide the great content and keeping things pushing in the community for everyone. And speaking of community, I feel like that's the perfect intro to tonight. Do it for the love, episode 14, for the love of community. As I've been doing, I like to give you, the basic definition of community, and then we'll get into our feelings about community.
For sure.
Community, a social group of any size whose members reside in a specific locality, share government, and often have a common cultural and historical heritage. Another definition, a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. When I think of community, I believe that it's essential to the growth of individuals. Mm-hmm. Community is essential to the neighborhood. I know us having, being in our mid-30s, we always hear the stories about, back in the day, the community was everybody. Everybody that lived on the block take care of everybody. I have the right and authority to correct your child if they step out of line and be disrespectful.
I know all about that.
And vice versa. So when I think about community, I think about all the essentials that come from growing up in what some may consider a nice community, what some consider a neighborhood, what some consider the hood. It's all community. It's all built with people that want to look out for each other, and some people are in need of help. Right. And that's when community comes in at its strength. Yeah. So before I go deeper into my thoughts about it, let's talk for the love of community.
For the love of community, for me, I think about the profound effect that we have on the community as leaders with real boots on the ground. I think about myself as an artist and mentor and how I've had the privilege of using my craft to uplift underserved communities.
Facts.
And being able to pay homage to remarkable individuals through my art and being able to highlight them in certain communities. I've been inspired by leaders of the community and visionaries like Robert Eves, Zastro Sims, Darius Stanton, Larry Griffin, Carl Snowden, Bertina Nick, Burl Downs, Janice Hayes, Wiley H. Bates, and Walter Mills, and countless others. Tonight we're going to celebrate those people and the power of community and honor those who shaped this journey and countless others. And it's just about the dedication and unwavering spirit that people who really love the community and really put in that effort, man. I just respect those people. I've always been inspired by them. So again, tonight we're going to celebrate those people.
And it's funny that you speak on some of those legends from our town, because I used to believe that I couldn't be the person I want to be unless I left Annapolis. Like, I felt like I had to go to a major city, New York, California, to really be the person. And I still want the world to know my name. But I used to think not doing anything local didn't mean anything at all. And everybody you just named, I don't know a lot of them personally to speak about what their initial goal was, but all of them dedicated their time and their life to be staples in the community. Mm-hmm. They died legends in our city. The ones that died, the ones that's living are still legends and still doing the work. So I turned back to that now in the last few years, coaching youth sports, all the different stuff that I do locally now. Even doing this, even though we shoot in Baltimore, we Annapolis grown, Greenbrier raised. This is to me an Annapolis podcast. Even though we shooting for everybody, this is what it is.
Right.
So to me, that's community. So when I look at all of that, even our guest tonight, the work that she does, I wish I had the mind state in my 20s to care that much.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was out here just doing what I wanted to do, playing sports, focus on just having fun.
Yeah.
Not really thinking about the legacy I could leave by impacting the people that's watching me.
Yeah.
So everybody that you just named did that work, and I just hope that we can continue to walk in those steps.
And speaking on the people that I named and our guests, you know, I feel like, you know, you spoke on our guests being young, and the people that we spoke about are all older, right? And
Thanks.
the cool, unique fact about these people is, like you said, we've either encountered them, been mentored by them, or seen them growing up. And the ones that I didn't get a chance to meet or see, you know where I do see them at? Their names on street signs. I see their names on the side of buildings.
Facts.
So when you put in that effort and that time and that dedication from a young age all the way until you do die, that's what you could leave with, a legacy on the building or on the street, you know, or initiative or a classroom or something named at you. And that's what you get for taking care of the community.
Thanks. And before we move on from that subject, I also wanted to shout out a video I saw on Instagram. I don't know if anybody else seen it. It's one in the neighborhood. This older white lady, she might have Alzheimer's. And she always went to the dude's house and was like, your music is loud, I'm trying to sleep. And then one day he was like, you want a hug? You want to come in like one day? Man, that lady was so touched. So that's community. He didn't have to do that. He could have been an ass. He could have told her, get your old fucking ass off my lawn, leave me alone. But instead, he hit her with kindness. He reversed that whole energy and she ain't know how to do. So community means a lot. If you're a person that never talks to your neighbors, introduce yourself. You told me something off camera, what you're going to do when you move into your new neighborhood. That's love, man. Make sure your people know who you are on your block. Community is strong, it's forever, and it has a lasting impression on the future. So please,
For sure.
community, baby. Moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and spin it to you. We do our first sponsor highlight, and I'll let you take the stage.
For sure. So our first sponsor highlight of the night goes to Vital Media.
Let's get it.
Vital Media is a monthly publication that honors and features entrepreneurs as well as people who are doing outstanding things in the community. In addition, Vital sponsors networking events that bring a multitude of people from all different backgrounds and businesses to network under one roof.
Okay.
And they do all of this throughout the DMV, and their website is vitalmedianow.com. And shout out to Cornelius Adams, who's holding it down. He created the company, and they're doing great work in the community. So shout out Vital Media.
Yes, you know everything is vital around here. You got to do it for the love. So once again, shout out Vital Media. Look out for the things that's going on.
Vital and Comedia, you know, vitals is the pulse, man. You know what I mean? So when you is vital and you got your vitals together, you can be the pulse of the community.
That's him, snaps for sale, y'all. Here and spinning with these
Yeah,
words out
yeah.
here today. So yeah, episode 14 for the love of community. We're going to move forward to one of our favorite segments. This is where we get a chance to poke fun at things. Sometimes it's stuff that's not too funny. Sometimes it's stuff that we really, really don't dislike that much. But it's cool enough to say we don't prefer these things. This
I
is
kick
our
it off
love.
all the time. Well, why won't you kick it off?
I'll kick it off tonight. So my love to not love, first up, is going to be Miss Talented, always in the media for the wrong reasons, Azalea Banks. Oh, Lord Jesus. One point in time, you was it. I really thought she was going to be next up. Like, she's so talented. I got to give her props. She was one of the first on the house music wave. She was one of the first singing, mixing church sounds with house funk, all of that. I don't know where it turned, but all she do now is hate. Every time she's in the news, she's hating. And the last victim, Beyonce knows, the country song. She's the first person on Twitter like, oh, cowboy hat ain't gonna cut it. You ain't gonna be able to just switch genres, as if she's not from the South,
right.
As if she hasn't made country songs before, as if it's not something that an artist can't do if they want to switch it up. So Azalea, I've been saying this several times, 2024 is about the work. Please get back to work, baby girl. Stop trying to be in the media for all the wrong reasons. It's not working.
I feel like sometimes artists and creatives can get on such a roll and be so hot and so successful that they start to believe that nobody else can be successful with them. It's like, or they just don't want to see anybody else get the light. So
Yeah, she need a hug.
my first love to not love, and you ain't gonna like this one, that's why I made you go first.
Oh, God.
Kanye West new teeth. Terrible teeth.
I'm actually with you.
I'm all for setting new standards in hip hop culture, but that shit looked too close to aluminum foil to me, bro. It's like he got a new Tesla in his mouth. Not talking the same is just annoying to look at, bro. And Kanye West, you've done so much trend-setting things that I don't feel like everything you have to do has to be so outlandish to make yourself stand out, man. Kanye, man, get it together.
I will say this, you know that's my man, but one thing you won't see me do, is defending what a man does with his mouth. Don't care less about it. Kanye, you know I love you, but I don't think that's great either. Moving forward to my second choice. This one's a little bit more serious and it actually plays into what I guess probably will speak about at a point in time tonight. The shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs parade.
Yeah. Man,
listen. A celebration for your team who won last year. Didn't hear anything happening last year, I don't believe. I don't think we just spoke about this off camera. Have we ever heard about a shooting at a major American celebration of a championship?
Not a celebration. The first thing that I thought of when I saw that was the marathon bombing.
See, that is true. That's a terrorist attack, though.
Yeah, but I'm playing people out there to celebrate for a good cause, and you get.
I'm actually happy you said that. So instead of me just making it about that one singular thing, I love to not love individuals who are pushed or driven to do things like this at events and moments that are just meant for celebratory reasons only. This was nothing but a good event, and now children, from what was reported, 11 kids shot at a Super Bowl parade. I don't know their conditions at this moment. I didn't really go look into it because to me, just that breaking news alone is tragic enough. And like I said, I guess tonight we will speak about things that revolves around gun violence, I believe. So I just think that's unfortunate, man. So I love to not love people that don't know how to act because that's just a horrible situation.
My last love to not love is on our topic of community, and I love to not love leaders in the community who make impactful decisions who haven't stepped a foot in the neighborhood. Okay. You know, the people that have that
I get you.
That position to make those
might put up some money, but really don't know what's going on.
It's like they'll come into the neighborhood at one time when they're elected in the office or they get that position to show face. But as far as being consistent in the neighborhood, really checking the temperature of your residents, seeing what their outcries are, or even just showing up to say y'all been doing good down here. Like those people they more of a hindrance than they are a helping hand. And that shit they no different than gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying? Right. But this is actually dealing with people's lives and daily things, you know what I mean? So get them out of here, man. Get them out and bring in the new leaders that actually care.
So all I love to not love people, we just want you to know, we really do care. We want you to be better. So we're just letting you know that we don't think you're doing that right now.
Call you out on your bullshit.
So moving forward, this is our time to shine the light on somebody that we think is doing major things, either in the community, in the world, or something we just saw specifically throughout our week on social media or interaction we had. I want to shine a spotlight on an Atlanta legend, been doing this rap game for so long, and he finally got his flowers. I want to shine a light on Killer Mike.
Bring a broom in here.
Because he did the clean sweep at the hip-hop portion of the Grammys. Drake, I think somebody else did win one other award, but that wasn't the major ones. Rap album, rap song, and I believe rap collaboration, or I'm not sure the third title, but he won all three of them. And I want to say the Grammys normally don't award people like Killer Mike. They award the people that's going to bring popularity like a Jay-Z or somebody that is always making great music like an old Kanye. I don't think they'll ever award him again if they can choose not to. People like Eminem, but they never really give the award to an album like a Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap. You never really see them give the award to somebody like Killer Mike, and his album Michael was phenomenal. I think the single with Andre 3000 and Future, Scientists and Engineers, is what pushed the focus, but I go back to whole world loves it when you can't get down. Like, that's when I fell in love with Killer Mike and Outkast and Organized Noise. So I just want to shine a light on you, brother. They tried to dim the light on you and arrest you right after you won your awards at the Grammys. Like, they couldn't wait. But we know how that is, and we know exactly what they're trying to do. Your name is Killer Mike. Yeah. Imagine like that. Like somebody named Killer Mike winning something at the Academy Awards. Yeah. So I just want to shine a light on you, brother. On top of that, all of the stuff that you've done for Black Banks, all the stuff that you do for underserved communities in Atlanta. I know you 10 toes down, and everything that you push with Run the Jewels and that whole era. You deserve what you got. Congratulations.
And shout out to Killer Mike because I don't know if y'all saw it a couple years ago. Killer Mike had a special on Netflix. It was a 5-part series where he took the concept of, you know how us black people say, you got some pro-blacks to be like, why are we still using white banks and why are we using...
Right.
So he really tried a theory to use everything black owned, from gas, grocery stores, and it was hard. Yeah. He couldn't find gas stations in certain cities and stuff like that. but he really just gave you an open eye to how black ownership is important and is needed. And it's a great show. One of my homeboys from Atlanta that I lived in a neighborhood with is actually on the show. He's a Crip, and Killer Mike asked them to create their own soda for this episode. So they did a blood soda and a Crip soda to unite them, you know, but it was tough for them to get it on shelves, but he just wanted to show people the process that you had to go through to become a black-owned business. And that stuff is vital. And the last thing that I want to say about Killer Mike and the whole Grammys thing is, I know we finished Love to Not Love, but I wanted to say, I love to not love when the younger generation don't embrace older people who actually put in that work.
I know what you're getting to.
Or people that you feel like you haven't seen, so you discredit what they did.
Right.
So, and Casanat, you know, Killer Mike spoke on that, and he was like, nigga, the same way you ain't heard about me, I ain't hear about you. Right. That's not gonna have me out here talking crazy about you. Like, if they was willing to give me this award, take the time out and go listen to it. And he also mentioned that he may be too young to appreciate that album. Nice. And it may take him to go through some experiences and to become a grown adult to actually appreciate the album. So shout out to Killer Mike for just always having an open mind for the future, embracing the young, and stamping now his name in the record books forever.
Absolutely. And like Jay-Z said, I know hip-hop community and blacks like to act like we don't care about the Grammys. Don't nobody get into the game to not be awarded the biggest award. We just want y'all to get it right. As Jay-Z said on the very stages he was awarded, he held the Grammys accountable. Just get it right, or get it close to right. But don't make an ass out of our genre or try to shoot our awards on camera, but then you want us to be here and be the face of it. Just do better. So, I think it's time. You ready?
For sure.
It's time to bring on our first guest of the evening. Do It For The Love, episode 14, For The Love of Community.
Welcome back, everybody. We have our guest with us, and our guest is a visionary leader in the city of Annapolis, a beacon of hope, a catalyst for change in our community.
I like that.
As one of the driving forces behind No Harm VIP, our guest embodies resilience, compassion, and unwavering dedication to uplifting those around her. She's wise beyond her years and a true champion of positive transformation, no other than the young GOAT of Annapolis, Coren Makell.
Give me some snaps for that intro. Oh my God, snaps for that intro.
No, that was fine.
You self-proclaimed young GOAT. I seen that in the email, so I'm like, we'll make sure I put that in there. But thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you for your time and for everything you do in the community.
Thank you for having me. And the same goes for both of y'all.
Appreciate it. So as you all know, on our show, we bring on guests who do their thing, and we try to tell the who, what, when, why, and where their story. So I'm going to let Buddy kick it off with our questions of the night. Buddy, what you got for our guests?
So, to start off, very simple, who is Coren Eve?
Ooh, that's a big question.
Break it down for the people.
Coren Eve is a proud Annapolitan, born and raised in Annapolis, grew up in Bywaters. I still live down there, actually. I am a loyal community member.
Okay.
I'm young, I am ambitious, and I'm ready to take on the world.
I like it.
So your work with No Harm VIP has been instrumental in the community engagement. Can you share how your journey began and what drives you to make a difference?
Yes. So I will say the first life-changing event that drew me towards doing community work was the fact that I wanted more for myself. And I love to be an example that I wish that I had. So in 8th grade, I chose not to go to Annapolis High School because I knew that I was going to get into a lot of trouble. And I wanted to stay clear of that because I have 2 older siblings that kind of were already known in the community. And so I just wanted to take a different route. So I separated myself and I enrolled into the hardest magnet program in Anne Arundel County. And I persevered through it. It was like me putting myself into a room full of sharks and just trying to figure out how to get out. But yeah, then I started off, I went to the military, got kicked out, another story for another day. And then I came into contact with Alderman DeJuan Gay. He told me about an internship opportunity for the city of Annapolis, and I jumped at it. They were shocked that I wanted to do community service work when I started. And because I already kind of had a good relationship with a lot of the different community members throughout all of the different communities in Annapolis, I kind of just took the broom and swept it all towards me and just ran with it. But so I started off as an intern, and then because I was doing a lot of the good work that I was doing, I was able to obtain a part-time position for the city, where I'm now the neighborhood engagement coordinator for No Harm VIP.
Beautiful. That's a hell of a story right there. In a very quick way. I like how you put that together very quick in a very nice, concise manner, because that's a lot.
I got a good follow-up question, but I'll
No, go for it.
Well, I will say the one thing that when you mentioned about coming into Annapolis High School and you chose not to go, right? That's actually a narrative that I've heard growing up, being a part of that, where certain parents take my friends that I grew up with the whole time in elementary and middle school, and then when we get to high school, they move them to a broad neck or a different school. And now, even more, I've seen literally a big chunk of the city from our community move out as their child gets into that age of high school. So my question was, is your outlook still the same now being an adult? Like,
yes.
If you had a child, would you say,
yes.
You're not taking them to Annapolis?
With all of the kids that I work with now, they're in middle school, get into magnet programs. And it's only because Annapolis is like the saying, what is it? A whole bunch of crabs in a barrel, something like that.
That's the same.
But being able to expand and expose yourself to more things, it allows you to just grow more mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and just putting yourself in certain situations where you are uncomfortable and trying to make yourself comfortable.
Okay.
So yes, I would encourage everybody to venture off.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. I was one of them kids that ventured off right after high school. I actually stayed in Annapolis for high school, which I appreciate. Though I think there could have been, like, if I wanted to do sports, I think I would have shorted myself by going to Annapolis. But luckily for me, I had talents where I could kind of pick and choose where I wanted to go to follow art. But it's tough coming up in a city where you love it, but then as your child grows, it's like, do I really want to send him to my own community school? And it sucks, but I'm hoping that some of the initiatives that we all do in these partnerships and when we got our boots in the ground in the community can change that narrative, and hopefully we enjoy sending our kids back to our own high school.
Yeah, Annapolis is really small, and it's really easy to get caught up in the wrong crowd if you don't have that mental state to be your own person. Mm-hmm. So I know for me, that was one of the biggest reasons why I chose not to go to Annapolis High, because I had a lot of friends and my older siblings were, I'm not going to say they was doing things they knew they weren't supposed to, but as a teenager, we all do things that we're not supposed to, or growing up at a fast pace. So it's like, yeah.
No, I respect your stance on that, because I was similar, but mine wasn't really because I thought I would get in trouble in Annapolis. When I chose to not go to Annapolis and go to St. Mary's, it was just to expand my horizons of other people. I knew everybody going to Annapolis High School, so for me, it was more so like I wanted to see what else is out there in Annapolis, and that was one of the best decisions I made, because I started to learn the other Annapolis from a real close up, like front and personal, like, oh, this is how y'all move, and this is what it's like hanging out with y'all on the weekends and doing that type of stuff. So it's amazing that you saw that at such a young age, to be like, because 8th grade is 12, 13, 14, age-wise? But it's like, for you to know, like, I don't want to go there. This is going to be bad.
Well, I think most of that was because me and my sister have a 5-year age gap, and I was hanging out with her while I was in middle school. So I was hanging with her and her friends. So by the time it was time for me to get to high school, I felt like I already knew everybody, and me stepping outside was like social media all over again. It was like the same stuff you see on social media, the same stuff you see everybody posting is really the same stuff they doing when they step outside. So it's like, I need to go around new people. But yeah.
I feel like you answered a lot of my who, what, where, why in one question answered, but I'll twist one up a little bit.
Go ahead, shoot.
Why did a young woman from the inner city go into work that challenges your neighborhood? And for me to get more, I guess, direct into that question, how does it feel doing work that challenges people that are kind of in a comfort?
For me, I love me a good challenge, and I know that whenever you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, it only allows you to grow and learn more. So, me knowing that I like challenges and I thrive, and my best work comes from when I'm overwhelmed. So when I have a lot on my plate and I can't just focus on one thing, like I have to multitask, I have to be doing 10,000 things at one time, and I'm a solution-based person. So it's like, if there's a problem, I'm going to find it. If there's a challenge, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take the hard route so that I can learn all the ins and outs. So when it does come time for me to mentor somebody else younger than me, I'm like, okay, I already been through that, did that, let's get it. Come on, what you got to do next?
Gotcha. So it's preparation in the experience.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That prepares you for the next thing, going through the experience yourself. Gotcha.
Before we get too deep into your work in the community, your work at the mayor's office, I want to go back a little bit. Was there any moment in your early part of your life that impacted you to really say, like, this is why I want to help the community? Or was it just because that opportunity presented itself, or was it a situation or something traumatic? Like, what really made you passionate about the community?
I will say, just to kind of touch base a little bit of my family history, my mother grew up with a father that was on drugs and had a bad case of alcoholism and was very abusive to my grandmother. And hearing the stories about that and knowing how my mother overcame that, and knowing that my mother is really a pillar of our family, and the only thing that she does is make sure we are all good. So she helps us still until this day. But just seeing that, you know, she overcame all of that, and her only goal was to make sure we had everything that we needed to be successful. And then growing up with friends that were less fortunate from me was like, okay, I have an opportunity to, you know, show people around me that you don't have to be stuck where you are if you just, you know, put your mind to it or have the ability to just want to overcome something.
Nice.
So I always grew up helping people or wanting to help people. Even my old report cards from elementary school, you know, my teacher's always saying, you know, she's gonna be a great leader, or she's always helping. Like, not necessarily a teacher's pet, but I was always willing to help.
Definitely
just
was a
because
pet.
I am I just have a solution-based personality. So I've always loved to help. But the opportunity allowed me to help more in the communities that I always grew up in.
Yeah.
So it was just like, why not?
Right.
I can get paid to do what I love.
Yeah.
No, and truly being a teacher's pet is actually a great thing, because that means somebody older sees the passion in you. A person, you don't get too many young people that step up and say, I want to do something. Like we all do events, and we've all done kids with youthful events. When we say, hey, show of hands, or somebody that wants to participate, it's always the same 2 to 3 kids that's very lively, and everybody else is like, you ask them, but when you make that one and don't want to raise their hand, say something intelligent. They're smart, but you really gotta really seek them out.
Yeah, you gotta
And it's
be able
about
to.
that comfortability too. Once I feel like the more comfortable a child is with you and the way you teach or the way you work with them, they'll open up. They'll start to be goofy. They'll start to share things that they might have not even shared with their parents. And that's the good thing about leaders who really can adapt and know who they're dealing with.
Got it. I'm gonna jump to a where question. I don't know how many more Saul got in his bag. Plenty more. Okay. So my where question would be, where do you see? I would say you could say No Harm VIP, or you could just say your own entity of self. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years doing the work that you're doing?
On the moon? No, I'm joking.
Don't limit it if that's what you want.
Well, one of my favorite quotes is "Shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land somewhere amongst the stars." So I have a lot in my bag. I do plan on opening up a spa within the next couple of years. So I'm also a licensed esthetician, and that's my true passion. But in the next 5 years, definitely still with No Harm, because I love this. But I can see myself in my spa.
Gotcha. So
Teaching.
that's the big goal.
Yeah.
All right.
On the
I didn't know that about
GRE.
you. I didn't know you a license. I ain't even trying to say that word. Say it for me. A license.
Esthetician.
Yes, yes.
Esthetician.
Got you. I didn't know that about you.
I'm actually in massage therapy school now too. So I want to be able to get all of my license for all of the services that I offer, so that not only can I provide those services, I will also be able to have interns and apprentices that can be taught under me and earn their license and their hours and their licenses, so that basically.
Congratulations. That's good work. Keep grinding.
So when I think about like what you do in the position that you're in and the people that you work with, I think about pressure. It's a lot of pressure that comes with.
If you can't take the heat, get up out the kitchen.
With the job and with some of the things that we see going on in the city, right? So with pressure in mind, how do you balance being a young role model with the pressures, demands that come with that profession?
I always have to remember how much younger I am. And I know that I'm very ambitious and dedicated to what it is that I'm doing. So the pressure don't get under my skin. If anything, me being so young and me being so determined put pressure on everybody else that's older than me.
Okay.
So I take heed to it, and I know that it's there, but it's never gonna stop me.
Gotcha.
That's a good thing about being young and actually being driven around adults who can make decisions. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they inspire you a lot by what you see that they can make happen. So it's good to have that mindset.
Yeah, and then definitely when I do encounter adults that show some kind of negative animosity or negative energy towards me, a lot of the times it is just because I'm younger than them, and it is a lot of the times is either because I'm younger than them or I'm a female. I didn't go to college to get where I'm at. So it
Long story.
Gotcha. This will be my last question from this segment, and if Saul have a few more, I'll let him rip it off.
See if I can pull it back.
So my last one is going to be last year I worked with you and we did the gun awareness event, the non-VIP event outside at the Pitt Memorial Center. So I know we have another one coming up. So what is it about that event that makes you so passionate about spreading that knowledge? Because I'm going to be honest, prior to that event, I didn't know all of those numbers. I did some research prior to that day just so I could be thorough, and everybody, all the vendors that was there, they were thorough enough to where I didn't have to throw off statistics, really. They did it for me. But I just saw some stuff that was alarming to me and eye-opening. So as a young person, what got you into that?
So a lot of people don't really know this, but when I did leave to go to the military, maybe like 2 or 3 months in, my brother ended up getting shot. And my family actually didn't tell me until like 2 or 3 months after it happened, because they knew how protective I am of my brother, and I would have came home and probably did a little bit of damage, but luckily I was in a better state of mind. But me not being home, I wasn't able to really help.
Felt helpless.
And with that, it was like I could see that with me being away, it took a toll on my family. So that whole gun violence awareness and the no harm event, what was it? A gun violence awareness and wellness fair.
Yes.
The wellness part is specifically for mental health. And personally, growing up in the communities that I have and being around the people that I have, it starts with mental health. If you don't have the mental ability to overcome or unchain yourself from the generational curses that have came with living in those communities, you're only going to resort to what you know. And a lot of times that is violence. A lot of time it is drug abuse. A lot of time it is alcoholism. But if you aren't able to acknowledge that, you're never going to be able to overcome it.
So well said, honestly, because that is such it's simple. It's super simple, but the outside world don't understand how hard it is to fight the simplicity of it. Like, it's there in front of you every day. Imagine saying no every day to something that's just pretty much calling your name. All you have is time and opportunity to fuck up. So yeah, like, great answer. Thank you for that.
Learning just that story about you, that story you just told us about your brother being shot, that was my first time hearing that. And looking at it, all three of us at this table have either had somebody close to us that's been affected by our gun violence or know somebody that's been affected by gun violence. So I feel like gun violence isn't new to us. You know what I mean? It's the one shift in gun violence that I see now is a lot of younger people doing it. So my question is, what do you think in this day and age is the driving force?
Social media, music.
Mm-hmm.
Social media and music. And I'm going to say that just because social media allows people to put on this fake facade of what it is that they want people to view them as. And one of the things that I like to bring to the students that I mentor the most is being able to present yourself the way you want to be perceived. That's the only way you're going to really like either make a difference or cause more harm.
Right.
Because for me, I don't even know where I was going with that. I think I said what I had to say. Present yourself the way you want to be perceived.
No, absolutely. That's where he was going with.
Okay.
Controlling the narrative.
Well, yeah. What was the question?
What was the driving force behind shootings these days? And you said it was
Social media
and music.
Pretty much they had no direction.
Yeah, and for me, I had to step away from social media and living up to what people always saw me as well as music, because I could tell that the music that I enjoy listening to takes a toll on my emotional state every day. When you wake up and start listening to, I'm gang banging and this and this and this, that's all you thinking about all day long. That's how you're projecting your day already.
Right.
So the more you take a step back and really pay attention to your emotional state and how you feel about certain things, you'll become more aware to the things that's around you.
Mm-hmm. I have two theories on music and what we just talked about with social media. What you just said, music, some people be in denial about what music can do for you. I've heard plenty of times when music get brought up as like that igniter to the fire. People always say, "Oh, that ain't true," or they just listen to it. How many of us have been in the car listening to music and then that one song, that high energy song, come on, you notice you start speeding.
Yeah.
Just get heavy,
Yeah.
you listen to that song. That's just a small example of how music can influence you to do something. And then as far as social media goes, I have this theory that I wish I could get on a national stage and talk about, and I really believe that cell phones should be banned from school. But you always have parents that come back and say, well, how am I going to get in touch with my child? Or I don't want that to happen. My child needs to be in touch with me. Like, that to me is bullshit. And it's like, if you really understood how social media is still active in high school all day long, during classes, they texting, recording fights, all types of shit. And that's literally the starting factor. Again, we didn't have social media coming up. We had fights in school, but it never was to the point where you could disrespect somebody and it'd be on the internet for life. You know, where people could replay it or gaslight you. Right.
We respected our parents way too much to make us respect our teachers. Yeah. We wasn't going to school. I see that they don't respect shit about the school system and the way the rules are set up. They can't even discipline them or do any goddamn thing about it. So I really feel like, I guess I would raise my hand and say I'm one of the people that was kind of in denial about the music thing. But honestly, this is true. I can't defend that all of these youngins listen to gang, bang, bang, op this, op that, doesn't lay some type of toll. And I know that how I was born, I can compartmentalize the art from reality. Like how people be like, man, you rock with everything Kanye do? No, he's a fucking great music maker. I met that man because of music. All the extra shit he do, I find some funny, I find some shit over the top. But I can separate the art from an individual. Just like you can love your parent, but if you got a parent that was on drugs, does that not make it your mother or your father? I look at anything and put it in that box. So everything you said about the social media and music is very strong. So
yeah, and definitely making sure you have the emotional intelligence to separate yourself, or being able to pull certain things that you know is beneficial to you, and then leave the things that leave a negative impact.
And that's hard as hell from somebody age 9 to 17. Actually, they started like 6 or 7 with the phones now. So like 6 to 17.
But it also is the parents' responsibility to be able to teach those kids what it truly means to be emotionally intelligent.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of these young parents don't even know what it means for themselves to be emotionally intelligent. So you can't blame somebody from being ignorant if they were never taught it. But if you don't take the time out to go and find the information, then I mean you just lost.
Yeah. Any more questions?
My last question, what advice would you give young individuals aspiring to make an impact in the community? We talked about the negatives that we see them do, but how can we encourage, or what message can we give to the young to make a positive impact in the community?
Be the example that you wish you had growing up. If you paying attention to how you felt as a kid, being able to identify the things that you didn't have or that you weren't given as a kid, knowing that you still probably needed those things, being able to be more self-sufficient so that you can provide yourself that, and then also be able to become aware that that's what you had to do so that you can project that love and support onto the next person.
She's dropping gems for you young people. Listen, get it together. You did an amazing job. I think that was a great introduction to who you are, and I think, you know, the foundation of what started you along this path. Now we're gonna like loosen up a little bit, get a little more into your personality, move quick. This is our segment that we like to call Rapid Fire. And you've watched this before, so you know we're just gonna throw some questions at you. Don't overthink it. Get into
Don't
it.
be too long with it.
I did love to not love first, so I'm gonna let my brother start this off.
Keep it real light. Start it off. Name one thing about you that people may not know.
I don't always respect authority.
You work around a lot of authorities.
And I don't always respect it.
Gavin, if you watch.
Yeah, watching all of us, little firecracker.
Okay, it's gonna be thrown right back at you.
All right, so my first question: if you could put together a team of, I'm gonna say 2 to 4 influencers. It could be quick if you want to do 2.
Woo!
Celebs or whoever, to lead an event of your choice. What is the event and who are the celebs and why?
Ooh.
Quick, rapid fire, a little bit low. So what's the event and who are the people you got there doing it? And we can spin the block and come back
I'm
to
definitely
that.
gonna have you hosting. Definitely having you making my flyer.
Double.
Alright. I'm not gonna lie. I can't go without Tola. My supervisor now, Tola, I have to have him on my team.
Okay. For the love of community, I like your answers.
And my mama.
Okay.
My mama.
And what are us 4 individuals doing? What's the event?
Your energy is just always there.
I
love the art and the mental health aspect that I can spin into art. Tola is very...
That's the quiet assassin.
Yeah.
That.
Efficient but quiet. He's working on this.
He. That's.
Got it.
I need him. And my mom, because really, that's one of the hardest working people I have ever seen in my life. Like, day in, day out. Like, I love you, Mom.
Shout out to Mama.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's on me.
It's on you.
Nicki Minaj or Meg Thee Stallion, and why?
Neither.
God damn.
I was never really a fan of Megan Thee Stallion when she first came out. She do got a couple hits. I'm gonna give both of them their flowers. They both doing their thing, but they just not my cup of tea.
So who is your cup of tea?
Me? No, I'm joking. Artist wise?
Yeah, rapper, woman.
Female. Whoo, Dreezy.
Okay.
Dreezy.
Different answer. I like Dreezy. In the news for the wrong reasons right now, beefing with Jacquees and Deion Sanders doing it. Music is fire.
Her music fire. If
I
I
got
had
you.
to find one more female artist right now.
Dreezy is fire.
Dreezy nice. She's super
I
talented.
love the work that she did in the movie Beats on.
We ain't gotta come up with 2. We can go with Dreezy unless you want to.
Tink. I love me some Tink. I love me some
So
Tink.
you went with 2 hybrids.
Yeah, sure.
Because they all hybrids. They sing, they rap,
Yeah,
they do a little dancing. They're talented women, and they're writers.
Yeah.
Was that your question?
Mm-hmm.
All right, up to me. Okay. Live forever with good health and no one knows you, or create a legacy that lives forever and die young?
Depending on what the legacy is, but I would say the legacy.
Okay.
Just because that will make the biggest impact, and hopefully my legacy is able to inspire those to carry on my legacy.
Gotcha.
I mean, being unknown and healthy, yeah, that's great, but it's like...
What you do with your life.
Right.
I got you.
My next question, if you had to pick one artist in hip hop whose music has a negative impact on the community? Who do you think that is?
Who that pretty much that's what you just said the problem is. So who is that artist that's a no to the children?
A no to the children. It's so many that just popped in my head. But if I had to go with one, and I'm not gonna lie, I love his music. I love drill music. But NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy.
Strong choice.
He's the leader.
He is, but I love his music, and he's a very talented person. But I feel like if he could put a more positive spin on his music, he would be able to not only touch more lives, but he would be able to inspire more communities to do more and become more united within the community. And I think that's my biggest issue with him, is because it's just,
I think that, speaking on that, I think it's in the works. I've been seeing a couple interviews from him, and you can see like him realigning with himself. But I think it's going to be hard for him to indoctrinate himself back in the community and help out from that aspect. But I do think he can help out lyrically by just providing better energy and messages in his music. Right?
And I mean, don't get me wrong. Being able to speak on the things that you have lived through is one thing. But it's like being able to explain how you had to overcome that and how you want to change and put a better spin on what you're doing. That's what I want to see.
Max. Hey, NBA, we'll come to Grave Digger Mountain.
I love you though.
We'll come to Grave Digger Mountain if you want to do it for the love podcast and come and talk to you, brother. We would definitely love to get some insight on your mind. But I have seen the growth that Saul spoke about. You do have the youth's ear. They love you. They defend you. So take control of your power, man. You're young and you got the power to do anything you want with your talent and your time.
Right.
My last let me piggyback back off of what Sal said. I haven't seen that only because I stepped away from music because I knew how much of a toll it was taking on me. But I do love NBA Youngboy as an artist, but I want to see that.
It's true. I feel like a lot of the before you next, right?
Yeah, I got
before you get into that, I feel like looking at the hairstyles right now and the cruddy, even though Baltimore like was doing that before NBA Youngboy, I feel like NBA Youngboy is the influence that made it spread around the world, though. Like,
he has
a great platform that he can do a lot more with if he chooses to redirect.
That's a fact. So my last rapid fire question is going to be, I had a loaded one, but I'll go quick one. Political work or community work?
Community all the way. I don't even know why I hesitate. I don't like politics. I mean, I be politicking, but I'm gonna keep my roots in the community where it really matter at. Because and I'm only saying that because when you have a pulse in the community, you can influence them to make the right political decisions. So, yeah.
That's the right answer.
Both. You need both.
I was gonna say it couples each other as hand in hand because you're not gonna make changes in the community without some type of policy.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I do feel like the grassroots approach is the community first. If you do the politic part first, then you gotta go backwards and now you gotta get the people. So even if they vote you in, if they're not really rocking with you, then you really only have the seat and the title. You don't really have the people.
Right. Exactly.
So
if you could time travel to another decade or time frame to experience community from that era, what year would it be?
Probably like the 80s, 70s, 80s, yeah.
Oh, 90s babies.
That's a little too early. No, I think I would go with the 80s.
Okay. I mean, we was born in the 80s. We do believe we were great.
If you could shadow a historical figure from that time, who would it be?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
Just that time frame.
Just that time was like it was more unity within the communities at the time.
I honestly thought that's what you was gonna say.
And it's like it was just more like family oriented, and I feel like that's one of the things that is missing a lot in this generation is not really coming from a stable family and not being taught how to be a member of society.
And being accountable.
That part.
Yeah. You said you was all out?
Yeah, I'm done. If you got one more for, two more for, go ahead and shoot.
we talked about your music taste, but if you had to set off a karaoke party, what is your go-to song?
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie. My one of my favorite local artists right now, Lace God, Double D, Too Cool.
Okay.
Too Cool.
Okay.
I love the fact that a lot of her answers, even though we said you could pick a celebrity or whatever, several times she chose to go with somebody in the community, somebody that she could take this opportunity and big up.
Oh, and
respectfully.
one more. Forever a favorite. Lid to Lit. Wait, what's the song called?
I heard about that artist too.
Lid to Lit.
Lid
What
to
was
Lit?
the song? What was the song?
You're gonna have to hit me, you're a little younger than us. You're gonna have to help us to some game. I know who Lit is. I don't know Lit Too Lit though.
Lid
I
to
heard of
Lit.
him.
Alright, him and Nala, they got a song together. They two both local artists. They came from GVO. Always Flawless. He's one of my he inspired me. He was one of my inspirations to do a lot of the community work that I'm doing now too. He's definitely a GOAT.
Yeah, I just saw him out. He's in another. Was he in Colombia right now?
I don't know where the hell
He's
he's at.
somewhere.
That nigga
Somewhere.
be traveling his motherfucking ass
We
off.
just blessed to have had you on the show, bro. Thank you for taking time out your
Yeah.
busy
Y'all go back and
schedule.
watch that episode 5, I believe, man,
Yeah.
for the love of ownership,
Flawless
featuring
Breezy.
Flawless Breezy, for
Yeah.
sure.
Dang, I can't think of the two songs, but Lid to Lit is definitely a GOAT, and he got a song with Nala, and that song fire too. Them songs is forever on my playlist.
Support local music, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you did great.
Thank
That
you.
was our rapid fire segment. You've been very thorough with all of your answers and all of your energy. We appreciate you. So, this is the moment we go into Spin the Block. And this is an opportunity for you to, if Sel has a question or if I have a question, if you had a moment that we've already discussed tonight that you maybe wanted to elaborate on, is there anything that you thinking about?
I'm not gonna lie, the way my brain be moving, I can't even remember half the stuff y'all asked me, so no.
Is there anything that you would want to spin the block on in the world news that it's a topic that you wish you could have spoke on, that, on a public platform that you could have just put your 2 cents on?
Emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And I would say for me, that's important because growing up, I didn't have it. And I'm just now learning how a lot of things in my past has affected me negatively, which has caused me to redirect certain areas in my life and kind of look at things differently based off of how I felt with that situation or how somebody made me feel. But having that emotional intelligence and being able to set boundaries and knowing who you are as a person really allows you to just grow within yourself, and it allows you to own your respect when you walk in the room. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things today. A lot of things are based off of respect.
Right.
Whether you respect yourself and other people respecting you, and if you don't have respect for yourself, then you can't expect somebody else to respect you. If nobody else gonna respect you, then what you doing?
Do you feel like, as it pertains to emotional intelligence, do you feel like that's all about understanding how you feel, or would you actually understand how you make others feel based on your actions? Do you feel like that's a part of emotional intelligence too?
Yes, of course. Because if you can't take constructive criticism, or if somebody can't explain to you how they're making you feel when you just feeling attacked or whatever the case may be, then you're not allowing yourself to grow or even to take heed as to what somebody else is telling you. And if you're just always in defense mode or always think somebody's trying to attack you, then you're always going to be stuck. But yes, emotional intelligence is something that I would definitely say this generation is lacking and needs to become more aware about, so that they can grow and thrive.
Grow and thrive.
Yeah.
But no, amazing answer once again. So I feel like you've naturally dropped a lot of hidden gems, and that would be our next segment. So I'm going to ask a specific question to get a gem out of you. Me and you both did leadership in Annapolis together. We graduated. What's up to all our Eagles? We out here, 2023. But my gem would say, what gem can you give to young people to join these organizations or these free leadership classes like we did? What is the gem in doing those, and why would you promote someone to do something like leadership or any of those that's out there?
Taking advantage of relationships and effective communication skills. And I will definitely say the relationship is a big thing, because knowing people who have power, or knowing people who know people who have power, will allow you to get into rooms that are bigger than you. So for me being so young, working in the mayor's office, I'm put around a lot of powerful people who not only have power but have money. So for me, knowing that, I'm learning about how to operate a business, how to operate nonprofits. I'm learning how to create capital. I'm learning how to do all these different things just by knowing people, just by me meeting people and them seeing the ambition that I have and them wanting to help me. So it's like relationships.
Right.
Relationships with people, and being authentic, being pure, having pure intentions. Because I'm very big on energy, and so I don't even know what I was about to say.
Pretty much, I would say, the way I would sum it up is proper placement puts you in a productive position. And that's exactly, I think I just made it up on the fly. But I should put that shit on a bumper sticker. Proper placement puts you in a productive position, because it's true. Sometimes we wind up being in the best positions of our life just from doing what we naturally wanted to do. And sometimes that work, which you've done your whole life just from experience and your family and your community, and put you in a position to win and know all these people. So appreciate that. So we'll move into our inspirational moment message, which is when we zoom in, camera A, and you've done so much of it. So this is a moment where if you want to pinpoint something specific in your work, pinpoint someone specific in the community, or something specific in the community, it's your moment to talk to the people and give them that inspirational moment message. So the floor is yours, Miss Coren Makell.
Look at the camera and just imagine that you're talking to your younger self, or that younger person that see you on stage. Buddy said this, that younger person that see you on stage and just be like, I want to be like her. So what would be that message that you give to that younger person?
I'm going to go ahead and go back to be the example that you wish you had growing up. Because when you are pure with your intentions and you are dedicated to whatever it is that you're passionate about, your only choice is to win. You're not going to stop just because somebody told you no. You're not going to stop just because you failed one time. If that's what you're going to do, if that's what you want to do, then do it. Can't nobody stop you or hold you back other than you. So just make sure you keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. But, yeah. Be
the example, not the sample. You feel me?
So I really wish the conversation could have went on longer, just to dive more deep into the community. But I will say, ending it, let the people know how they can reach you as it pertains to community issues, and if you have any upcoming collaborations or partnerships that you want to talk about.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get to the partnerships first. So every Tuesday in February, the city of Annapolis is doing a State of Black Annapolis event at the Michael E. Bush Library on West Street. And the point of these events are to literally focus on not only the history of Black Annapolis, but also inspiring the youth to understand that a little while ago, Annapolis was majority Black. Annapolis was Black, like businesses, money, homes, everything that you can think of. And knowing that you're from here, and that what's the word?
I mean, I would say, while you think of that, just knowing the legacy that some of our ancestors have created for us that we let fall by the wayside, whether it be through
gentrification. That's the word I was looking for.
Fail paying property taxes, or fail to educate the next generation on how to take over the
bamboozle, a lot of different stuff, shady business practices, people that actually trusted other people. Like, it's so many different things that they did to trick us out of the spot.
What Coren said earlier about family, I think when our family starts to lose the urgency to keep us all informed about family property, family ownership, family legacy, nobody's gonna care. I mean, most of this young generation, they don't even know who their great grandparents is, to be honest with you.
And to go off of that, when I started off as an intern, I didn't even know that I had eldermen in my family. I had two, actually. So with me learning that and learning that one of my great uncles was had the first cab company in Annapolis. We have family streets named after our family. I didn't know any of that until I started working for the city. So just me learning that allowed me to realize, like, I'm in the right place. Mm-hmm. This is what I was meant to do. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not going to go any further from this, because I definitely am. But it's like, just me knowing that allowed me to put things in perspective for myself, and knowing that I'm working towards whatever it is that I'm doing. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following whatever my God is telling me to do. I'm just walking in his path. So it's like, learning your family history kind of allows you to put things in perspective for you, and learning who you are as a person. Because, I mean, yeah, genetics don't lie.
I will give you more credit than you want to give yourself. You're doing an amazing job of not doing what you're doing. Because it takes a lot of discipline and direction to do the work that you do on a daily basis. And like I said, my young 20-year-old self, I was a father young, so I could be limiting myself as well, because I adjusted and did some big shit at a young age too, being a dad, just stepping up to it. But doing selfless stuff, like community work, didn't see it in me at that age. I didn't see it till my 30s. So I just want to commend you on everything that you're doing. I just really met you a few years back in our small little town that I feel like the younger generation I kind of disconnected with. Mm-hmm. So it's good to meet someone like you and know someone like you and build with someone like you, because you are the future. And in 10 years, when I'm in my 40s, you'll be hitting your prime of wherever you at, whether it's going to be in your license field or if it's going to be taking this political thing even further than what you think you might. Listen, I ain't going to limit you. Don't expect me to put you in a box, never. So I just wanted to say thank you, man. Somebody got some more to say before we
thank you to Mayor Gavin Buckley for having foresight into his office staff. I mean, I really do admire the fact that he's put new faces around him. Because I remember before people like Coren and Tola were in the office,
and all that,
I didn't feel comfortable wanting to find out who was doing what or knowing who to talk to. And now we got people like Coren and Tola and people that are in your staff that we can go through as middlemen, so we can be able to tell you the message from our lingo or whatever, and now you can interpret it back to them. But I did have one question before we closed out. How do you feel like you have to make people like the mayor aware and actually understand and feel some of the things that are going on in the community, so it's just, you know, it's some type of emotional attachment to it? I feel like when it's an emotional attachment, then the decisions have more thought.
Honestly, with me being myself, and I just say that because I'm still very young, no college experience, no business, I haven't had any real guidance with what the real world is, other than working a 9-to-5 and making sure all of my bills are paid. So with me knowing that I am just like a lot of these high school students with no guidance, it allows me to be my authentic self. And me being able to truly, I can relate to a lot of the kids that I work with, because like I said, I didn't grow up with really any guidance on how to chase my dreams or really make a difference or do anything different other than work and pay my bills. So with that, it's like, if you don't see me, you really just not looking and you don't care. So unless you are really taking the time out to understand what I'm saying, then I can tell that you just don't care. But Gavin shows that he cares by allowing our no harm program to go into the schools, go into the communities, and do all these different things that we're doing. And yeah, there can always be more. There can always be room for improvement. But then there is also a point where you do have to prove yourself. You do have to prove that, you know, you're willing to take on this opportunity. You're willing to do the work. You're willing to put the time in and actually make the difference. So, I don't even remember what the question was. But
you answered thoroughly again. You keep on acting like you do stuff not on purpose. I don't even know what you're talking about, but yeah.
My brain just be
I see, constantly going.
Going.
Yeah, I don't know if Saul got anything more to say. I just want to say thank you Once again, before I shout out my studio and everything, the message of tonight is community. You can have power in your neighborhood. You can have power in wherever you go in the world, but always remember it starts with self. The goal ain't to be perfect, but the goal is to be consistently aware. Yeah. Be consistently aware how you treat people, how you treat yourself, how you talk to people, how they talk to you. Know that we don't have to say we are the world, but if you really think about it, we are the world. And we control what culture is and how we are presented to the world. So take advice from this young lady, take advice from us. Pour love into yourself, pour love into the people, pour love into the community. Special shout out to our studio Atelier Baltimore. Special shout out to all of our fans, all of our subscribers. Like, share, continue to spread the word. Hit those comment sections. Talk to us. We want to hear from you. Special shout out to our highlight sponsor of the night, which was, let me not forget the names. Shout out to our highlight sponsor, Vital Media, Vital Magazine. Shout out to our people. Special shout out to Killer Mike. Big things in the hip hop community. And you know what it is, man. Do it for the love. Episode 14.
Wait.
I'm not leaving yet. I ain't leaving yet.
Oh, all right.
Before we do get out of here, you spoke about No Harm VIP.
Yeah.
Show people some stuff that you got.
All right. So first, we got these keychains that I want to give to y'all. Okay. Gun violence awareness. June last year, the No Harm program was able to make June the gun violence awareness month throughout the city.
Who's hosting this event?
Me, duh. Oh no, you. You're hosting it. I'm planning it, and we have this wonderful host. But yeah, this year I believe it's going to be June 9th, same time, same place, Pitt Moyer, from 3 to 6. But yeah, then I also have some no harm gear to be given to our hosts for tonight.
Take notes, guys.
And then the hoodie, come on now, drip fire.
Take notes, guys. We like size medium, size small. I'll be in the gym, but you know.
We painting the town red with this one. So if you see our logo somewhere, stop hurting, start healing. No Harm VIP, which stands for Neighborhoods Organized Helping to Avoid and Reduce Mortality. It is a violence intervention and prevention program that's funded out of the Annapolis Mayor's office. I just want to thank Gavin Buckley for giving us the opportunity to do the work that we're doing. Thank you guys for allowing me to be on your platform. And yeah, we painting the town red.
Yep, and I'll end that by saying it's not about what we just do for ourselves, about what we do for the love of our community. We closing out episode 14. Holla at y'all, do it for the love.